Hello friends, myself VK Gurwal, teaching physics here. Today we discuss how to resolve a vector quantity. If a vector is given to you, you have to resolve it according to the numerical problems. In IIT physics, basically resolution is a very important aspect to solve the problem. Here we discuss how we resolve a vectors into different numerical problems. So first of all, in general I have to say that there are, if you want to resolve the vectors, major problems depends on a planar resolution. It means you have to resolve in a plane. So first of all, if you need a one direction, there is no need of resolution of a vector. When it is moving in a two-dimensional plane, you have to resolve a vector quantity, and that is the 90% of the questions will be asked on a how you resolve a vector in a plane. So we will discuss one by one. Suppose we are having a coordinate axis like x-axis and y-axis, and a vector is given to me. Suppose this is AB, so I have to write it like AB vector. Now I have to resolve this vector along the x-axis and along the y-axis. So what I have to do, I have to give a projection of AB vector on x-axis, which will give me the components or the resolution of the vectors along the x-axis. How can I find this? A dash, let it be A dash, B dash. So I have to draw this parallel. I have just completed this diagram. Now this A, B dash, double dash here will give you the projection of the vectors on x-axis. Suppose theta is the angle with the x-axis. So simply you can find out this resolution by the method of a trigonometry. What is the method of trigonometry? For this you have to find out the cos theta and sin theta. If you find this cos theta here in this triangle, in triangle A, B and B double dash, you can find cos theta will be base upon hypotenuse, and here base is represented by A, B double dash and hypotenuse is given by AB. So clearly this AB double dash, which is the component of AB vector along x-axis, is given by you AB cos theta. So here AB cos theta will give you a component along the x-axis if theta is the angle with the x-axis. Similarly, if you want to find out the component of the vector on y-axis, you have to draw the perpendicular on the y-axis. You can find this B double dash will give you the component of AB vectors along the y-axis. How can you find out B double dash? That is by sin theta, and this is the B sin theta. How can you find sin theta? Sin theta is given by perpendicular upon hypotenuse. So here perpendicular is represented by B double dash divided by what is hypotenuse, that is AB. Clearly here B double dash will give you by AB sin theta. So if I will summarize it, so if I have any coordinate axis and I have a vector quantity which has certain angle with x-axis, the vectors notation is by A vectors, then definitely along the x-axis its component will be given by A cos theta, and along the y-axis its component is given by A sin theta. So this is the simple method to find a resolution. Let us take another way where this types of resolution will be asked. I'm just taking an example where we are taking an inclined plane. Suppose I am just taking an inclined plane here where a body is placed, you can see the weight of the object is always acting vertically downward, mg. mg is the weight of the object which is always acting vertically downward. Now, in this problem, you have to find out the resolution of weight along the plane and normal to the plane. You have to consider two perpendicular axes. Here, clearly one axis is along the plane where the body can move, and another one is normal to the plane, this way. So first of all, you have to find out what is the angle with the either along the plane or the normal to the plane. If you see by the trigonometry, you can see if this angle is theta, it should be 90, then this angle should be 90 minus theta, and this angle will be theta. Clearly, mg makes theta angle with the normal components. So, if you want to resolve this mg along the plane and normal to the plane, you can see this mg makes an angle of theta with the normal. So, the component definitely gives you the mg cos theta, and perpendicular to this normal, you have to find out mg sin theta. It means where the angle is given, you have to find out the component in the form of mg sin theta, and where normal to this plane, you have to find out the component as mg sin theta. Suppose here I am just taking it another way. A block is placed on the ground and a force is applying in this direction. It makes an angle theta with the horizontal. Here it is worth noting the angle is with the horizontal, and if you want to find out the component along the horizontal, you have to find it out like f cos theta. And if you want to find out the component normal to the horizontal, it means vertically, you have to write it down like f sin theta. So if you want to resolve a vector, first of all, you have to choose in two perpendicular axes, and definitely these choosing are in such a way so that where should the body is moving or the vectors which you are applying have to take the body, and the another axis should be normal to the movement. For an example, I am just taking a vertical wall. You can see if I will place a block here and applying a force in this direction, where can this force can move the block? You can see this force can move the block along the vertical wall. So you have to find out the angle with vertical wall. Like this angle is alpha, and another axis that is chosen by you should be normal to the movement. So this should be like this. Now you have to find out the component of force along these two axes. As we discussed, if the angle with the vertical is alpha, the component should be f cos alpha here, and with the normal it should be f sin alpha. So in this way you can find the resolution, and it is very helpful in solving the problem in ITG and medical. Thank you.